We start the day at 4:30 in the morning, and we have a prayer that we do in bed. I'm not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I want the peace of God.
Today, the peace of God is everything that I want.
The aim of all my living here.
The end that I seek.
My purpose, my function in my life.
While I abide where I'm not at home. That's kind of like putting the rudder in our ship for the day. As soon as we wake up, every day for 28 years now, we've done that.
And then we do a visualization. You want to share that?
We feel gratitude, incredible gratitude for another day of living. Start every day with that. And then see an image of the world and anyone that's asked for healing, and just send our energy there. For me, I know peace of mind is having that harmony, integrity, what I think, say, and do. And that's always my little measuring stick.
Our attitudinal healing centers are based on having inner peace as your only goal. We say health is inner peace, and healing is learning to let go of fear. And the core of all attitudinal healing is forgiveness, which means letting go of all the blocks that all of us have with our egos that interfere with our natural state of peace, our natural state of love, our natural state of happiness. One liner that I wrote a couple of years ago that we found helpful to ourselves and other people, and it says, "Your light is all that I see, and is but a reflection of the light in me." And if we allow ourselves to sing that song, regardless of the behavior, and we allow ourselves to see the light in each other person, which we know is there, then I think the world begins to change. We begin to see a world that's based on cooperation rather than just competition, and joining rather than separation. Our work is really based on healing the illusion that we're separate from each other.
The relationship between inner and outer peace for me feels like a line of continuity. One sort of is an expression of the other. So, my own inner peace is what I experience on the inside, and then outer peace is the way that, I express it outwardly, and wanting to be the peace that I'd like to experience. So if I'm not experiencing it in the world, I really have to look at what part of me is not bringing it to the situation, no matter what it is. And we don't see peace as being passive. We see it as being a really active force like love. And we believe that there's really ultimately, as a psychiatrist and a psychologist, we bring it down to sort of two little simple areas. You're either experiencing love as yourself and giving it away, or you are experiencing fear. And under fear comes anger, rage, violence, all the horrific things we do to ourselves and to each other. And so if I'm not experiencing one, I'm experiencing the other. And I'm responsible for what I experience, so I always have a choice about how to move from one back to the other. So for me, the journey to inner peace is that I'm distinctly responsible for it, regardless of the situation that I'm in.
We just got back from Mexico, where they were celebrating last week. They were celebrating 20 years of attitudinal healing in Mexico, and they in 27 different places, in Guadalajara, Mexico City, Monterrey, all over the place. But they live in a consciousness of giving. When you're in a consciousness of helping another person, when that is what you feel you're here to do, you begin to not start to interpret people's behavior and say who's good, who's bad, who can you trust, who you cannot trust. That you learn by staying in that consciousness, and they're doing work with the poor. They're doing work in a city, was it Nessa, that they were doing? And it was just amazing, the work they were doing in schools, prisons, you name it, they're there. And they're all volunteering their work. It's all committed work. And to me, to find that inner peace, for a long time, I was sort of committed. And then I discovered it's totally different when you're totally committed and you're sort of committed. And we're doing our best, not that we're there all the time, but we're doing our best each day, each moment, to experience that total commitment.
Do you believe that music could be possibly a catalyst?
I don't think it's a catalyst. I think it's a necessity. I wrote a one-liner one time. When you're stuck in your head, it's music that will make you free. And to me, everything's vibration. Whether it's a word, whether you're sending love, whatever that may be. So it's really important for people not just to give talks or workshops, but to have music and singing and dancing as part of that experience of experiencing our natural state. Happiness.
Music brings us back to our soul voice, our ability to be able to express the essence of ourselves to someone else without using the limitations of words. The only way I think I can see a peaceful world is if I'm experiencing it myself. And so as I look at every judgment, every feeling of separation, every segregation in my own mind with another person, every time I think I have a script for somebody else and I forget to tear it up, I think once those things are accomplished, and I try to do them on a daily basis, but I forget just like everybody else, and then I remember once again. So I think a vision of a peaceful world to me is remembering, when we remember who we actually are, that the essence of our being really is love, and that we are part of this connectedness in a universal sphere. The more that we can remember that, I think the more we'll experience a peaceful world. So for me, I not only believe it's possible, I think it's actually happening now. Amidst the craziness of what we see and the violence in the world, I think it's actually happening. Because sometimes the pendulum has to swing so far over to the obscene before we can say, no, there's got to be another way of looking at the world. There's got to be another way of being in the world. I think we're right in the middle of that right now. I know peace is possible, and I know we are in the process of creating it. Jerry and I have worked in 54 countries and seen a lot of things, more than most people. And amidst that, we say, yes, there is great hope for peace. One of the stories that just touched us so deeply was a story of a young family who had a little 3-year-old girl, and a new baby came into the house. And the little girl insisted to her parents that she wanted to be alone with the baby. So they were a little worried. Thought maybe there was a little sibling rivalry here. And they thought, well, wait a minute, we have a baby monitor, so maybe we can just sort of listen to hear what's going on. So, because she just would not stop insisting. So they said, okay, yes, you can go in. And then they ran in the other room and listened on the baby monitor. And what they heard was this. The little girl, I could hear the little footsteps, went up to the crib, to the side of the baby, and whispered to the baby, remind me what God is like. I'm beginning to forget. For me, that is the essence of the journey here. It's all about ultimately remembering and forgetting, and remembering again. So I think that when we share our peace with others, when we share our light with others, we are helping each other remember. It's about waking up.
Yeah, and that's what healing is all about, selective forgetting and selective remembering. So if we keep remembering our source, our loving source, then you're peaceful.
To me, Project Peace on Earth is what's happening. It's really what's happening, no matter how hard the other forces, try to squelch the light. It's just getting brighter and brighter. And I think that this is going to be the giant light beam that's going to really expand it around the world, using technology and everything that we have everything that we've created for the good.
Jerry Jampolsky.
And I'm Diane Cirincione.
And we stand for peace.
Peace
has begun and can't be stopped.
Oh my gosh, I love this.